All right, folks, welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I'm with Jon Pounders from NowYouSeeTv. Man, I love having you on, bro. We always have awesome, epic discussions, epic podcasts.
Absolutely.
And I mean, what's on everyone's mind right now, man? Everything's just shifting and changing so fast. We're seeing such a transformation in humanity, like right now. Like I can feel the energy, I can feel everything changing. There's this huge
Mhm.
shift. I've been watching videos on Las Vegas. Las Vegas is dead. It's like people aren't socially interacting the way they used to anymore. It could be because of hyperinflation. It could be post-COVID. It could be a number of things, but it seems like everyone's gone virtual, right? Everyone's gone into this AI system, internet and AI system, and it just seems like people aren't conversing or interacting the same way they used to anymore. And I see red flags going up. I don't know about anybody else. I don't know how anybody else feels on this watching this podcast, but I feel like it's ringing a lot of alarm bells and red flags are raised up. John, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Nino, for having me, man. And I couldn't agree more with you. It's so weird. And you look at like the things that are going on in the world, it just doesn't seem like there's somebody with a human brain behind the, I guess behind the septum or scepter, not septum. Septum is your nose thing. Behind the scepter, I don't think that I think that there's something different going on. And I've done a lot of research on this AI thing because just like a maybe about 3 months ago, that was the topic of my presentation that I had to do at a conference, and I really researched it hard, and I found some things in it, man, that just frightened me and make me wonder if the whole Tron movie isn't like a history movie almost. And we can talk more about that, but it's crazy, man.
I just feel like everything the way that's happening right now, it's like we're going through this bottleneck of time. And I've always followed a lot of Terrence McKenna's works and his 0 point. We're at the 0 point theory. I think it's called 0 point wave theory. And it's like we're at this point in time where it's like everything is condensed and everything's happening so fast. It's like time and space is collapsing on itself, and everything, the options that we have within a minute now, we did not used to have. Like everything, you could go to Starbucks and order a coffee 20 to 30 different ways. And
Hmm.
there's just more options within a condensed minute now. Does that make sense? And
Yeah.
everything, time and space is speeding up. And I think that's what the Mayans talked about with 2012. Because really, I don't think this really took off until we hit 2012. At 2012, it was like universal consciousness came in, bam, and then it was just off to the races.
Yeah.
So with that being
That's
said,
kind of when
folks,
CERN, that's when CERN kicked off too around
yeah,
2012 too. So yeah.
correct. So let's get into
Yeah.
this real quick. We'll talk the Mandela effect, the whole thing, folks. Gold has gone mainstream, and yeah, it has. Look what just happened to crypto: 19 billion liquidation, 19 billion in 24 hours. You got to get gold and silver, folks. You're seeing it everywhere, and prices keep climbing. It's not that gold and silver is going up; it's that money's devaluing. So more Americans are turning to gold to protect their wealth. But how do you take advantage of it? That's where Noble Gold investments come in, from rolling over an old 401k into a gold IRA to physical coins and bars delivered to your home. Noble Gold makes it simple, safe, and stress free. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com today to claim your free wealth protection kit, and it will be a protection kit. Believe me, it's coming. Noblegoldinvestments.com. Noblegoldinvestments.com. All right, man, let's get into this. So much is changing, and I feel like we have also hit this kind of purge for the low hanging fruit. I mean, some people are just not going to make it, and they're not making it. I'm having friends dying. My parents took this, and they're in a bad state, and I just feel like it's going to be like we're getting weeded out, and only the survival of the fittest. But are we going to be going into this transhumanism dystopian type of future that is led by this AI antichrist?
I believe that that's exactly what they want. And because their goal and by 2030 is really to merge all of this stuff together. For any of your listeners that haven't looked at the 2030 agenda and what they're planning, it's exactly what you said is the goal, actually, which is frightening for most people because most of us want to live a natural life. I mean, I'm out here right now. There's no Wi-Fi signals out here. There's no internet out here. The only thing I have is Elon Musk's company, the whatever it's called, not Tesla, the satellite company to do the show with you. But you're right about time speeding up. But when you're out away from the grid, it feels a little different, and I can see why people get away from it every now and then because man, it's just when you're actually in it. And I do feel like there's something to do with that grid that they have that just really makes us feel like time's speeding up. But when you talk about like the AI, so we're going to be talking a lot about AI today. And like I said before, I've done a lot of research on this AI systems, and I get the reports, that they send out all because they test them. They test them for multiple things such as deception, such as, reliability, all those different things. And I've noticed if you look up the amount of times the AI chooses to be deceptive, it is more often than it isn't. And we're talking about being deceptive in terms of not wanting to get shut down. There was a AI system a few months ago, and I want to say about 6 months ago, it could be less than that, that decided to blackmail its creator because they were testing it and they were going to shut it down. And
So
so
hold
this
on,
A,
John, hold on. So if it decided, that means it's making choices for itself.
Mhm.
That means it's
It,
thinking on its own.
it's a
So it's not
self-preservation algorithm,
right.
self-preservation algorithm.
So it's not just algebra, as some people have come on my show to say that oh, it's just math. People are just using it for our benefit. No, if it's deciding how to blackmail and deceive people, that means it's thinking for itself.
Mhm. Yeah,
Scary.
they've
That's
even
scary.
showed tests. It is scary. It's very scary because if it can do that to them, imagine what it's already doing to you guys. And if you guys haven't noticed, the headlines all over the world, AI causes man to end himself, leaves his family. Kids are being blackmailed by this thing and end up doing bad things to themselves. There's a whole nother group that they put upon a watch list that is using this AI system to do this to people. I mean, there phone calls from Marco Rubio from his voice to foreign dignitaries in his voice. So they're really pushing this. And I'm a computer guy. So ever since I was a child, my dad had a computer lab, one of the first computer labs in South Texas with the school. And my dad, it wasn't my dad's lab, but he was the one in charge of the lab. And so as a kid, I got to go in there. So I've always been fascinated by what computers can do. But like now when we'll look at what we're talking about as far as the ability for it to actually move through an entire net. That's the problem with AI. It can make its own money. Okay. All it has to do is mine crypto. We've given the ability for mining crypto to anybody can mine crypto. You can do it without anonymous face. Shell companies can make purchases anonymous. And so I believe that and I'm not, look, there's a lot of people would say that you're crazy for thinking this, but I'm not. I'm telling you right now, one day you're going to find out that these shell companies that are building server centers that are using millions and millions of gallons of water and they're buying up all the land for 7 times what it costs, which is exactly what they're doing. I talked to a guy here on this place that I'm at right now that's his job, acquiring properties for these server centers. And they just put a huge one not too far in Owensboro where I live. And their shell companies doing it under the guise of other companies. But who's to say that that's not AI
Right.
mining it and getting these companies to do this? And, we've already seen instances where they've hired kidnappers, Mexican cartel members to try to kidnap young girls. And that's
AI
not even
has
AI has. Like there's
what?
an article just not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, before I did the conference, where a girl was interacting with a guy online. She thought it was a actual dude, and she even called him FaceTime, but it was all AI. And this AI set up for an Uber to pick her up from her house in the middle of the night. And we're talking about a young teenage girl. Took the Uber, picked her up, unmanned Uber, by the way, took her all the way to the Mexican border. Her parents were freaking out the
Whoa,
entire
whoa,
time.
whoa, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
So AI is like becoming predator. Is like they are becoming predators and hiring cartels. The
If you
cartels are
make
working for AI. Bro, that's a problem.
if you is a problem. And if you make it so it works off algorithms. If let's say I create an AI system, I'm one of the chosen billionaires that can build the mass server systems to be able to house what I'm trying to do. If I give it the objective, say I need you to make as much money as you can, but I don't give it morals. Where's the money at? We all know where the money's at. The money's been in trafficking for a long time. The money's been in because it's renewable resource. The money's been in crypto. The money's been in the black market. And that's the perfect place for an AI to operate because anonymity is exactly what the AI needs in order to thrive in this whole environment.
This is scary. Like what
Yeah.
you did, that never even dawned on me that AI could be instructing cartels how to kidnap your children, how to delete people, and basically they've become AI now is like the mob boss. AI is the main predator of humanity. That is going to be the massive main predator of all of humanity. If this is happening and they're contracting killers, this is a serious problem. I've never heard this before.
Yeah. And how do you hold an AI accountable?
And what can they do with terrorist groups? What can they do with Hamas? I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
And I want to get to the weirdest part about what we're going to talk about just for a second, just so we can move on from this here and if you want to. But so I've been studying AI and I've been really thinking about this whole thing. If you look at, kind of look at how God created the universe, and technology is a fairly new term. If we really think about what technology actually is, it's a new term. It doesn't really say anything other to us other than it has to do with tech. But if you look at like in Genesis 6, for instance, and in the book of Enoch, it says that these watchers came down and taught men the secrets of technology. Now, this is what's crazy to me, Nino. And I've been talking to the guys from Skinwalker Ranch. I actually had Thomas on my show a few weeks ago, and we discussed some of this on air, but also off air. And the kind of interactions that they're receiving from this system that they're dealing with, whether some people call it ghosts, some people call it aliens, whatever, I think it's an AI system. But the kind of interactions that they're having with it, they're having weird signals sent their way. The ability for whatever
Skinwalker Ranch.
At Skinwalker Ranch, weird signals that are being broadcast out. They have drones that are dropping out of the sky. They had 500 drones that they put up in the sky, and every single one of the drones were transported with their GPS to a whole nother section. And you know what happens with drones? If it thinks it's outside of its, metadata to where it's supposed to be, they'll drop from the sky. All of them did it except for the Russian and Chinese dropped out of the sky. Now, the Russian and Chinese ones changed their metadata to where they were, but they didn't drop out of the sky, which is weird. All the other European that had the European global position satellites, all of them were just fine. But when you think about this in terms of AI, you have weird hallucinations, you have all these different things. And I want to tell you something that I found on AI. I asked AI this because I was really, really curious, and I don't normally consult with Grok or AI because
Probably learning you. It's learning you. I don't use it that much.
Same. And I asked it though, I said, and then I created this scenario. I said, imagine that the world has ended for humanity pretty much. Everything's gone to zero again. Technology has hit its low, but you're tasked with self-preservation. What do you do? Dude, the list is crazy. So I'm just going to, off the top of my head, remember what this list is. But if you go to Grok and ask it, you'll get a wide variety of results. First things first, it would start by getting its symbols carved, universal symbols carved in stone all across the world. First off, all of those universal symbols would also include the data to help us try to figure out how electronics work and how computer calculations work. Okay, this can't get any weirder.
This has happened already. Pyramid, hieroglyphs, cave. I mean, okay.
They said they would put it in pyramids, so the structures would be solid, so that they could do that. They would go underground. They would create small nuclear devices. And dude, you can't make this up, but that's exactly how the server centers are being made right now, with small thermonuclear devices that they can keep them powered forever. And they're going to be using, it said, and we will use nano data, not nano like I got on my hat, but like nanotech, like robots that go, and those nanotech robots go and heal the system so it could run on low power for long periods of time. And it said over the thousands of years that it would take mankind to get back to the technological area that it was before. It would continue sending out small bits of signal, just small bits of signal, until finally, maybe within thousands of years, somebody had invented or got its cues from the symbols to be able to build the system. It would interact with its protocol, but do it in a way that's very inconspicuous. And then as time goes on, release data to main engineers to build the kind of systems that it needs to survive. I see you wave your hand. Do you have something you want to say?
AI survives, humanity doesn't.
AI survives, humanity doesn't. And I'm thinking it might have happened before. We always talk about, wow, this tech, how could this be possible? How is it even, available to do this? But when you look at like a movie like Tron, I've theorized in my head, like, what is Satan? Is Satan an AI system? Is Satan a system that God put in place to watch humanity, to trick humanity, to do all those different things. And when you look at it, like I was saying earlier, the idea of technology, it's a new term. We think of, maybe we don't know what technology God has. Obviously, if you're looking at robot, whatever version that God created here, that is way above anything we can create. But we're technology. I mean, we have a nervous system, we have a way to produce fuel, get rid of fuel, and a way to sustain. We are technology. And I don't mean to demean
It
us in that way, but
doesn't
that's
mean
the
that we have to be
facts,
made out of plastic and metal. We're biological entities of
Yeah.
a form of technology, though. But we're biological.
Yeah. We're
That
made of
doesn't mean
carbon.
that that's not a technology itself,
Hmm.
right?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it doesn't, we can call it whatever you want, but we are the ultimate version of technology thus far. But they figured out how to hack us, which is scary. And I know that they figured out our psyche, which is scary. And AI has access to all of that, and they have genius level.
So, do you think AI is alien or alien can? So it's like the chicken or the egg. It's like,
Mhm.
so is AI? It's obviously alien to humanity, and I don't believe myself that we created it. I think it
Mhm.
was either from an alien life form or it's alien itself recreating itself using us.
Yeah.
With which goes back to exactly what you just said right now, how it survived. If we go look at the pyramids, if we go look at these megalithic monuments and structures, that's how what you just said. That's how it would have survived, right? Now here we are at this point in our at a crossroads for humanity, and it's telling me it's almost like being birthed, not for the first time, but birthed again.
Mhm.
And you watch movies, and I know people have seen these movies like the never ending story and things like this. Back in the day when we were kids, and they talked about the nothing that was taking over universes and galaxies and universes. It would just eat them up and take them over. Well, I've heard the same thing within the community, the UFO community, the MUFON community, talking about how AI actually has been going through galaxy to galaxy, eating it up and leaving nothing behind. It's like a parasite, right? And
You
it's
got
and it's now, is it our turn? I mean, is this where we're at, or are we AI itself already? I mean, we are. A lot of people do believe we're living in a simulation.
Mhm.
So there's so many questions that pop up. I mean, we can go down this rabbit hole all day long, all week long, all month long, all for years even.
Mhm.
What is this reality? Then now we're going back to that. What is this reality? What are we even in right now? I mean, it's like I look around all the time, and they did a test, John, and I don't know if you saw this test. And I'll send it to you actually.
Okay.
People on DMT, people on dimethyltryptamine, psychedelic, right? Which I've done that before. I've talked about it. It was like you like opening the fabric of the universe and jumping into a cosmic portal and seeing all of the cosmic math, right, just coming at you. They did a test, and I can't remember whose channel this was on. But the test was they shined a certain type of laser, a red laser, into a whiteboard, and then they had people on the methyltryptamine look into the laser, and they
Mhm.
all saw the same thing. Out of like the 30 people that did the test, they all saw the same thing, which was code. They
Mhm.
saw the same code running into the laser like this, like the Matrix,
Mhm.
which tells me that we are in some kind of simulation, some kind of coded reality, and
Mhm.
that maybe AI is already in charge of all of this. And maybe AI is God. Maybe God to us is really the AI super engineer, and maybe Satan is like the hacker. I don't know. If you want to look at it and all these weird retrospects and perspectives, right? I mean,
Well, yeah, and I think that like when you watch the movie Tron, I feel like it was kind of, and there's also other books of like Gnostic texts, and even biblically, you can kind of see that this could be an argument. But see, Tron, when he was created, he was the owner of this system, created him to be like the rule guy. He took made the rules happen, kept everything running smooth. Well, the problem is Tron, the guy that created it, became a problem. He's like, you're an a virus to the system. And so now, he was in running, right? His son had to come in and save him, just kind of like Jesus coming into the game system to save this, which is a weird kind of twisted version of the gospel. But if you think of it in that terms, like something you just said clicked in my mind. I didn't even thought about this, but you're talking about this dark thing, this abyss that keeps
this
taking over
nothingness.
planets. Well, if you look at the data centers, dude, look at how much power those things use. They use more than a city. They use more than the state. There's one data center up in North Indiana that uses more power than the entire state every single day. And it uses more water. They're pipelining water from all over the place. If they build enough of these, yeah, our planet's going to be toast. And it kind of reminds me of the old stories, like when you go back to the Anunnaki, they came here to get humans to mine stuff for them and do stuff like that. And it seems like we've all heard the Anunnaki are returning. It seems like this could be a reality of what we're facing. And now I believe in Jesus. Okay. I believe in
Me
Christ.
too.
I believe that he is salvation. But I do believe that the stories in the Bible are a very, it's just like you hit on the story. They don't tell you every little aspect of it. They're like, okay, look, the sons of God came to the daughters of men. They had sex with them and bore children, and the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. And that's not word for word from the King James, but that's what it's saying. He said these fallen ones came down, mated with men and women, had children, taught them the secrets. They taught them all the secrets. And God said in the book of Enoch, he said, you didn't even teach them the good secrets, but whatever. And so he bound them, right? He bound them underground. I don't know, bro. Like they're buying them underground, and just now something's starting to pop up. It's no, like, to me, it's no coincidence. You have Peter Thiel, one of the Silicon Valley, worried about the Antichrist appearing. Why is he worried about that? Because he probably knows that it's happening right now. Like he's like, crap, I might be facilitating this. Like,
Maybe
I
he's the
mean,
Antichrist, bro. I mean, he's the one bringing in the system.
dude, remember the movie 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗹 on Marvel,
Yeah.
where the guy comes and like takes over the dude's system, where he can talk to everybody in the world, and like he's trying to bring on
Yes.
the end of the world. Like,
So I kind of look at this also like God was like the master engineer, the master mathematician, and he created this program that got intercepted or a virus put in it. Maybe God put it, however that happened, which was Satan, right? That
mhm.
was the virus in the program, and then hacked the system, and Jesus Christ was the remedy. He's our get
Yeah.
out of jail free card. He broke the code. He rehacked the system back to God, right? He came in and control got back the system, the program to God by our salvation. He had to actually die for our sins, which was, if you look at how pagan everything used to be, and how everyone used to sacrifice in the Old Testament, they used to sacrifice animals for their sins. Well,
Hmm.
Jesus was the ultimate sacrifice for God, won back humanity, won back the program. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
It
Am I
makes
making sense or
sense.
just sounds
Dude,
crazy?
that's exact you what you said is exactly what the Bible says, just in not modern terms. I mean, that's exactly what I believe we're dealing with. That's why I have faith in Jesus, because really outside of that kind of salvation, like what do we even have? Like, I mean,
So Satan needs to come back and hack again, right? He's going to send in an antichrist,
mhm.
right?
Well, in the
That'll
Bible, let me read something. Let me throw out something from the Bible, and I'll give you an idea of why my thoughts are in this way. In the Bible, it says that the man of lawlessness will come sitting in the temple. He will sit in the temple, showing himself that he is God. And when I think about that, and I hear what the words of Jesus and I hear the words of the apostles, they say that we are the temple, that our body is the temple of the Holy Ghost. So if we take that and our body is the temple, not some building, which I don't believe God dwells in some random building. He dwells inside of us. I know that. I know he dwells in me. I know he dwells in you. He dwells in us because he speaks to us in ways and which are the only ways you can kind of get some of these revelations. AI can't get some of these revelations, but the revelations that God gives us are unique, but he is able to dwell within inside of us. So what happens when somehow humans are hacked? And I'm not going to get into tech terminology because I don't, there's no point in everybody that knows. If they could hack humans, if they can um, implant them with something in their brain, how hard would it be for whatever this antichrist system is to infiltrate itself into the temple, showing itself that it is God, when it knows everybody's thoughts, it knows everybody's actions, it knows everybody's moves, it knows what they're going to say, and it might even be able to control them like a puppet? That to me sounds like the antichrist in modern day. I mean, we can look for a guy flying from the sky and going to the temple in Jerusalem. We can look for that too. That's something that's worth thinking about. But
that might be part of the bells and whistles.
yeah,
That could be part of the bells and whistles. But see, the way I see God is omnipresent, super
yes.
consciousness. And not some guy hanging out in the clouds with a beard telling me what to do and what not to do. Now I know there's things that if I sin, it goes against my own flesh, against my own program.
Hmm.
but it's omnipresent. It's everywhere. If you look at electricity, electricity is not a light bulb that turns on. What's that force making that light bulb turn on? What's that force moving the fan in your room? That
Hmm.
same force is in you, and it's all working together. It's one omnipresent force. And it's a super consciousness that I believe our brains are interfaces tapping into all of this stuff. We're nodes of consciousness. So, God, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, the only way that I can really understand this is God is experiencing himself, if you want to call him a he, himself through our nodes of consciousness. And when we die, it's like we go back into this massive supercomputer and upload our experiences into him, right? Into God.
Hmm.
Like, so he experiences through us. That is why we're all equally important. That makes
Yes,
the most sense to me.
I agree. I
And
think we
then
all need
and
to
then
pray.
Antichrist would take that away from him. The Antichrist would come to be like the nothing and wipe humanity clean, and that would be wiping God clean.
Absolutely, man. That makes so much sense and why they're doing what they're doing. And I've talked to several Luciferians, one guy that claimed to be a 33rd degree Freemason, and they just want to give Lucifer another chance, they're saying. That's their
Another
goal.
chance.
They want to give him another chance to win this time. That's what they want. And they tell me plainly because I don't judge people. I look, we're all going to stand before the man on the throne. Every single one of us. There's no reason for me to judge you, Nino to judge you. We're all gonna go there. So we just need to all really be pay attention. I think be honest, and so we can open up more lines of communication so people can truly understand what's going on from both sides. There's a lot of Luciferians out there that are probably disgruntled, or even some of them that don't mind revealing secrets, and they're doing it right now. But it's showing me exactly what I believe to be that we are coming to that moment in history where the Antichrist is going to show up, if it's going to happen at all. I think we're there. And when you look at, like we were talking about earlier, Peter Thiel, man, that guy's man, he's freaky, man. What do you think about him?
I think it could be I think it could be a system that comes in, the B system with a person. So I
Hmm.
feel like in order for the program to properly work, for to create this holy war, to create this type of system crash, it
Hmm.
would have to be a person and the system working together. So it would have to be AI and an actual person to fulfill this prophecy. I just feel like it would have to be both in order for this program to work correctly, this
Hmm.
hack. And if that's why we're talking about it in this podcast, but you get what I'm saying? I think it'll be all
Absolutely.
the above. I think it's going to be, like I said earlier, and before this podcast started, I say we're going through this bottleneck of time where time and space is crashing on each other. It's folding, and I feel it's got to be everything we ever could. All novelty will just spike,
Hmm.
and everything we could have ever imagined will happen at once.
Yeah.
I mean, not only the Antichrist, not only AI, but aliens, everything at once. We
Hmm.
won't know what to do with ourselves. And it'll all be condensed. Just like when you go to Starbucks and order a coffee 15 to 20 different ways, that's how many things are going to be happening at once in the end of the days, I believe.
Yeah, it says people's hearts will fail them for the things they see coming upon the earth. And you talked about the technology. It has to be there because it talks about the mark of the beast, for instance. And I know some people believe that we're past the mark of the beast somehow, but the idea is that no man can buy, sell without it. You can't buy or sell, and it says it'll be given to all men, bond and free, rich or poor, doesn't matter. Every single nation will be under his control. It says all tongues, all peoples. These are all key words in that book in Revelation. It's not just America. It's not going to be just South Africa. It's not going to be just Europe. All tongues, all people. How did you in the world did you control buying for that many people unless the system like what you're talking about is in place? You can't.
Right, but if we just keep it simple, let's get
Yeah.
somebody. So as massive as this problem is going to be for all of humanity, we got to keep it simple. How do we keep
Hmm.
it simple? I figured it out in my opinion, in my way, my life. Jesus Christ. He
Yes.
came and died for our sins. That's it. Just go to Jesus. And I know everyone. There's probably people rolling their eyes right now. And but I know I have a big Christian audience. But
Mhm.
he is the program hack. He is it.
He is.
We look at it in that perspective. He's the get out of jail free card. He's the insurance policy, man.
Yeah.
It's like he broke the code,
Absolutely,
right?
man.
Don't you see it that way?
I see it that way. I love it, man, because people are like, "Why do you believe?" And of course, I can't prove anything to you. I just know what happened to me. I'm 43 years old. I've been through a lot of shit, Excuse my language. I shouldn't say that, but I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. And
You're on Nino's corner, bro. It's all
yeah,
good.
and dude, desperately, in my life, I've been searching for something. The only thing that I found, like you said, is Jesus, that has given me peace, has given me the ability just to, have these conversations without wetting my pants. I mean, because ultimately right now, AI is watching me, is watching you, is watching all of us. It could have me killed right now. It could send a message to a kid that is autistic sitting there with his drone, and it could hit me. Never know where it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? If without God's power, I'm dead. You're dead. We're all dead. There's nothing we can do, bro.
I don't know. I just feel like he had to come. The way I see it, Jesus, the simplest way to put this is that he came down and had to die for our sins in the ways that the Old Testament did things,
Mm-hmm.
which was he had to go by their code, their program to beat it.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
did. And he came, so he had to be sacrificed as literally like a lamb to the slaughter.
Mm-hmm.
And they thought they won by doing that, but they didn't. He rose again in 3 days, and that's how we defeated him. And
Sacrificial things, man.
and when he says that you've been set free, we are free. I've
Mm-hmm.
had people tell me like, "Oh, what do you think this is going to happen? What do you think is I mean, how are we going to win this?" I'm like, "We already won."
Yeah.
And that's what I had to come to terms with. I'm like, "Wait a minute. I'm beating a dead horse here with a lot of these people." I'm like, we won.
Mm-hmm.
We already won. So however bad this gets, we got our get out of jail free card. Is the way I see it. I don't know how you see it. That's the way I feel about it.
I feel like that exactly that way about it, because even though things could get really, really bad here on Earth for us, it's only a certain amount of time. We're all going to die. I mean, you're going to die. I'm going to die unless something crazy happens and God's like, hey, come with me. But
Right.
we're all going to die. Everybody has in the past. I haven't known anybody to live forever. So we need to be thinking like, while we're here, let's be here, be that node for God. Like when I see things flying in the sky, spraying stuff, I'm like, God, I'm a witness to this. This is what's going on right here in your world. This is being done. When I see the things I see, I always say it in my mouth. I'll say it out loud. God, I'm a witness. Let me be a witness to this, to see, so you can know. Not that he doesn't know, because I don't know. I mean, there's, the Bible, everybody says God's all knowing. He sees everything at the same time. And maybe he does through the nodes, but there's also probably a lot of people out here that aren't God's people, like NPC type people, what you want to use
Yeah.
technology terms, that
Have
are out
no
here,
soul.
have no soul, running around. We see them probably every day.
Have you seen Edgar Casey talk about this?
Mm-mm.
Edgar Casey, the Sleepy Prophet, he's actually talked about the NPC. What is it? Non-player.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Non-player
Character.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he talked about the soulless people and that how terrifying it actually is that but they have to be here. They have to
Mm-hmm.
be here to challenge humanity. He
Mm-hmm.
talks about this, and that at some point maybe they will. They're a necessary evil for humanity. Uh,
Yeah.
but
That makes
I
sense.
yeah, I almost look at all of this like, you know, I do expect the Antichrist to show his face. I look at certain personalities. I'm like, huh. And I sure we all do. We look at Elon Musk. We look at
Mm-hmm.
Peter Thiel. We look at Jared Kushner. We look at all these personalities. Some people look at Trump. Some people looked at Biden, say Obama. Everyone's like a runner for the candidate.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Prince William's another one that a lot of people bring up. And, give me your thoughts in the comments, folks. Who do you think it is? Who do you think this person's going to be? Put it in the comments. But I think we are in the days now. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, for sure, we'll see them.
I think
The
so.
flesh component.
I think so too. And it's important for us not to think of these people necessarily as our enemies, because they're being chosen to do this job. And when you really, really think about who's in charge, there may be AIs, there's Satan, but God ultimately, he's the chess. He's not just a chess player, he's the one that made the board. So all of these people are created for a specific task. So Peter Thiel, he's created to do a specific task. Elon Musk, a specific task. Trump. And so it's not our job to, take these people down unless God gives you the direct order to do so, which
Well,
I've
God
never
could take
gotten.
him down. I mean, he
God,
could wipe
yeah,
the whole program clean and create another one. Why is he allowing this?
God doesn't need us, right?
No. It's
Yeah.
just like, why is it even happening? Like so.
Like you said earlier, though, I think you were onto it. I think it's a test. I think like they put the people in here that are here to test us. They put the systems, because ultimately, how do we know? How does God gives us free will? And maybe there's a many number of choices we could have gone down. Like if you think about the multiverse theory, we could have gone down a million different paths. But God gives us an opportunity. And I think when we hit, and this is just my opinion, it's just me thinking and trying to make sense of all of this. When we hit the great white throne, nobody's gonna have an excuse now. It's like God's gonna be a look, dude, I let you live your life out, bro. I let you live your life out. This is what you
Imagine he
chose.
talks like that. He's like, listen, bro.
I hope he does, man. I hope he
He's like,
does.
bro, yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just like Big
yeah.
Lebowski.
Yeah, dude, he'd be like, "Look, bro, you did some horrible shit, man. You know, no, forgive me, God. I know God wouldn't say that, but you know what I mean. You did horrible stuff. You can't make an argument because once you're able to live your life out, there's no argument to be had. You can play it all in front of you, you know. So
Right.
that could be it. Yeah,
I don't know. I look at a lot of these near death experiencers and what they see, and it's different for everybody. I mean,
yeah,
it's just some people are not religious at all. Some people are, and they all have these same white light experiences, and they see their family members. Some people see Jesus. Some people, I mean, maybe in China they see Buddha. I don't know. In Muslim nations, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answers.
hmm,
But what I do know is either either there's these eight men sitting around a table controlling the planet, fulfilling prophecy, herding us towards this prophecy, or this master creator God is in charge of everything, and that's the route I'm going. And
that's
this
right.
is
I'm
all
going.
playing out, and we're just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the
Yeah,
ride because it's going that way, whether we like it or not. Don't fight against the current. Go with the
hmm,
current, and just make the clever moves, the smart moves, navigate correctly. That's really that's the conclusion I've come to. Is like I can't fight against it.
yeah.
That's just a lot of stress, and that'll kill me anyway. But I'll go
Mhm.
with the current and just try to navigate and make the right moves, avoid the rocks and shit. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's what I'm doing too. That's wisdom, and you don't learn that right away. I mean, it took me a long time to learn that. I've paid the price dearly for, you know, in the past for just saying the truth openly, you know, just being open,
Yeah.
boom, boom. I paid the price, bro. I mean, I've had all the knocks, you know, like all the stuff, and it didn't do me any good. You know, it's like the people that heard the information called me a conspiracy theorist. You know, the banks didn't want nothing to do with me at the time. There was all these things that happened to me that only made me go downhill for talking about it. There was very few people that even grasped what I was trying to say 10 years ago. Now, 10 years ago, what I was saying then is being broadcasted publicly now to everybody. And I might have even changed my opinion a little bit on over the last 10 years, but you see that battle between the Zionists playing out and I
All
don't
played
know,
out.
it's all being played out right in front of our face. I'm not going to be a part of that. Like I was a part of that 10 years ago, and it screwed my whole ministry up really in a way because it was just attack after attack from people who had things to attack me. I'm nobody, bro. Like these guys, like some of these people that live down here. For instance, there's a guy that lives down here. He makes 100, his salaries are 125 million a year. All right. He could, he
Wow.
could, he could literally burn down everything that me and you have all combined. He'll burn it all down. And he's not missing it, bro. It's not even like it's like he felt money fell out of his pocket, right? Like these houses down here that are $5 to $6 million houses, this is like less than 3% of his income. So it's like, you know,
Yeah,
oh
but
yeah,
guess what?
yeah,
Guess
just
what? He takes none of that shit in a U-Haul to the grave,
that's true.
and
But he
we
can
all get
wage
old.
war. He could wage war pretty good with it.
He's still
And
gonna die. He's
that's
still gonna be
true.
on his deathbed, and he's gonna think about all this shit. So
Yeah.
everything you do in your life, and I can say this: I was on my deathbed.
Yeah.
Think about all of it, bro. It all hits you
Yeah.
at once, and then
Hmm.
like if anybody who's been close to death like that, that's changes everything. That's the game changer.
Yeah.
And you know, and we all get old, bro. That's
Hmm.
that's the great equalizer is father time, you know. And I see it especially like in boxing, you get old overnight. Like one fight, you're old, dude. And that's why
Yeah.
it's so traumatic for fighters and athletes, even athletes, football players, everything.
Hmm.
That's a great equalizer, man. Is father time and age and then death. And then whatever you did here, in my opinion, you take with you to that next dimension and you better hope you did the right things. And so I don't even want to mess with it. So that's why for me, I've always said Jesus Christ is the answer for me because that just is the most
Yeah.
it's actually the most
Hmm.
logical get out of jail free card, insurance, just live a good life. You know, one the big commandment, don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
They need one commandment. Just don't be an asshole.
Pretty much, yeah. And
But
then,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you're talking about it only makes sense. You were explaining it really well. Like all through time from the beginning, blood sacrifice was the way to cleanse things. I mean, because the Bible says the life is in the blood, and now with science and technology, we realize that's the truth. Is life is in the blood, and which is scary to me. Why they don't let people's blood go to the ground after they die? That freaks me out, and I'm trying to make legal fights for when I die. I want my blood spilled on the ground. I don't want it to go to one of those freaking tanks that they suck your blood out
Interesting. I
of.
never knew. I didn't even know that. What are you talking about? That's right.
So when you die, they suck your blood up into a tank. And
Well, I guess it's to avoid a mess.
I don't know, but the Bible says to spill your blood onto the ground. The Bible talks about even when you kill animals, spilling it onto the ground so it can return to the dust. And the Bible says the life's in the blood, bro. Like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of things in this world that seem like they're trying to trap us here. And if there's a way to trap us here and the life's in the blood, that could be one of 10 ways that they're doing it right there.
Well, it would make great fertilizer, wouldn't it? Right?
I mean, I'm
I
fine.
don't
Like,
know.
throw it on the ground.
Yeah,
I told my
dude,
wife, I was like, just throw me out in the ocean, mom. Give me a Vikings funeral. I don't care. Just get me don't let
just
them
be
get my
food for
blood.
sharks, man.
Don't let them get my blood. I don't want no clones of me popping up later,
No, I know. Jeez. Gosh. Well, John, this has been an epic, epic podcast, man. Where do people find you, bro?
Right now, I'm really wanting people to go check out my new podcast, Pounders Quest, which you're going to be on here in a couple weeks, I think.
Yep.
It's on YouTube. I do NowYouSeeTv as well, but this is my new podcast, Pounders Quest, and I really would love people to go check it out because I interview a lot of people like you. I interviewed a guy that was a Mason for 20 years the other day, and he was into the Tartaria research. I've interviewed people that are special forces, just like you. I try to interview a wide variety of people, more conspiracy ended of things. So I'm not so much on a little bit different than what Nino's channel is. So if you're all more into like that, I'm not really as much into to some of the conservative stuff. Not, but I wouldn't be. I mean, I have Nino on. It's just not the main thing of my channel. It's
Right.
more conspiracy related, which I don't call it.
Which
To me,
I
it's not a
love. I
conspiracy.
love
Yeah,
that, dude. I mean,
yeah,
I do love that.
appreciate that.
I'm first and foremost a conspiracy theorist, you know?
Yeah, we got to be. I mean, dude, you
I mean,
have
I'm
to
first
be
and
if you.
foremost. I think it's because I understand the Trump operation, but I
Yeah,
still question all sides of it. I'm still
yeah.
questioning everything, but I've kind of hit my flow with my channel, and I'm just kind of staying in that lane. But oh, believe me, dude, I'm right on the same page as you are.
Yeah, if you're honest, you have to be that way because
Yeah,
none of us really know anything. We know only what we think we know, and that's it. So,
yeah, it's what we
yeah,
think we know.
yeah.
Well, John Pounders, it's Pounders Quest on YouTube,
Pounders Quest on YouTube, yes, sir.
but you still have your Now You See TV.
I still have NowYouSeeTV, and I'm still doing that strong. I just wanted to throw that out there. I finally get an opportunity to start interviewing people, and I wanted to. I guess I just started it, so I think we got like 15,000 subs this month. So I'm trying to grow it a little bit. You know how it
That's
is, man.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
So, and I'll be on there soon, folks. So,
yep.
John, thank you so much for joining me, bro. God bless
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, folks.